Special edition here at the Wheelhouse of Wheelchair Wednesday. Every edition's a special edition. Today we have a special guest coming to us all the way from the great state of Illinois. But before we get to him, let's go ahead and run the intro. Welcome to Wheelchair Wednesday. Let's welcome Wayne Valley to the show. What is up, sir?
Not much, just working. Watching the rain come down right now.
Watching the rain come down, huh? I feel that. Yeah, let me see if I can get this camera to work. We always have camera problems here for some reason. There we go. All right, so you're from Illinois. Whereabouts in Illinois are you from?
Hampshire, Illinois. It's 20 miles west of Elgin, Illinois.
Nice. All right, never been there. Seems like a nice place.
Not really.
Now, let me ask you this. This is the number one question. I'm sure you heard it all the time. Everybody comes up to you and they ask you, how did it happen? What happened? So why don't you go ahead and start off, introduce who you are, and kind of how it happened.
Well, I think since I was a little kid, I was able to run, and every time I would run, I'd fall. So I was like, no big deal. So after high school, I went on a concrete job, and I tripped, and a piece of rebar hit my neck.
Ooh.
It just scratched it. And then I went because I thought I blew my knee out, but they took 4 different blood tests and found Becker's MD in my bloodstream and DNA test. So ever since I was 19 years old, so doctors always told me I'd be in a wheelchair by 25, and I got into a wheelchair at 42.
Oh.
42, so I beat the doctor's future. So I was proud of myself. But so I actually hurt my body more not going in the wheelchair. But now I'm in a full-time wheelchair. I'm able to work full-time. I have a thermal standing wheelchair, so it helps with my legs and stuff, just get the circulation. But ever since, I've been in the wheelchair for 8 years now.
8 years now.
7 years. 7 years now. Yeah.
Well, and it's always, for me, it's normally we get a lot of SCI people on here, spinal cord injury people, but, I always tell anybody who's in a wheelchair, it's open for anybody to tell their story. Now, for Beckler's MS, is that just something that happens randomly, or how do you even...
It's from the X chromosome from the mom, and it's a deletion of mine is from 41 to 46 X chromosome. So it's called dystrophin. It's the protein in your body that feeds your muscles. Mine is way too high, so it's actually killing the muscles.
Oh.
So the fat in my body is eating my muscles in my body.
Dang.
So it's Duchenne. I'm a step under Duchenne's. Duchenne's is a bad one where if you had Duchenne's back in the 90s, you would be losing your life at 16 to 19.
Wow.
But in 2000s, after all the
What up, Cade was not here. We see you.
Yeah, all the research on. I've known a lot of Duchenne's patients. I've met one a couple of years ago. He was 25, so they're beating the odds.
Right. For sure. So you got pretty lucky making it by, 40.
Yeah.
40. What are you now? You said you're
49.
49.
So, yeah.
What's up, Annette? Good to see you. Now, this is a live show, Wayne. So if we get people in here and you hear me calling out people, that's just people coming in saying, hey, if anybody's got any questions and they ask them, I'll be sure to ask you live. That way they can get an answer live. That's kind of how the show works. It's unique. It's, if something happens, I can't stop it and say, oh, gosh, we just got to keep rolling. You know what I mean? So the next question I got for you, Wayne, is, it's kind of a weird one because it's for SCI people, really, but it's would you walk if you could? If you could go back and not do that situation to get injured, obviously you would probably do that. You wouldn't go back and do the same thing over again. But really, is that something you can get, like, away from? That time that you fell and hit and got your neck, is that something that, like, caused this, or it's just something that it just happens?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's from the X chromosome, so
it's kind of like hereditary, but it's not. Yeah.
The hereditary that skipped the generation before and got me.
Right.
So
damn.
No one really can figure it out.
That's just one of those things, yeah.
I'm in research studies in Florida. I'm giving muscle biopsies, blood, just for the future for kids or whoever has this, they can get some relief from this problem.
Right, for sure. Let me ask you this. Since you've been in a wheelchair, even before the wheelchair, what was your dating life like? I mean, are you married? You got a significant other?
I have a significant other, and I have one 6-year-old boy, which I'm glad I got a boy, because if I had a girl, they would pass it on to their offspring.
Dang, okay. I see how that works. That's crazy.
And we did get our boy checked out for genetic testing, and he's clear.
Okay. So you've probably been with her a while then, before you were in the chair then. Okay. All right. Yep, that's just something everybody always asks. Let me ask you this. What's your biggest pet peeve about being in a wheelchair?
Oh, restaurants.
Restaurants.
And I can't continue to go to a restaurant, and it's just frustrating because you're always bumping tables, bumping people, but guess what? I get to go there still, and I have to deal with it.
Yeah, as long as you can make it in the door, yeah, that's what I say. As long as you can get in and you can kind of fit and you feel a little bit comfortable, screw it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, public bathrooms are a problem, but I'm sure everyone in this group knows what I'm talking about. But,
yeah.
And I know there's a lot more people that have been in the chair way longer than I have, so they figure it out, like I did.
Right, and are you part of SCI Life on Facebook? That's probably where I got you from. Okay, all right, cool stuff.
And I just like reading articles and reading articles in that magazine and that web. I just want to know what's going on in the world with people in wheelchairs too.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, one of the reasons, the biggest reason why I started this little show that I do is to inform more people, you know what I mean? Like people that have different injuries, different, reasons, like you, the BMS. It's not necessarily a spinal cord injury, but what if somebody else has that and they want to see somebody? Yeah. That's, how they're doing it. So restaurants, you said, is your biggest pet peeve. What about something that you wish you could do now that you can no longer do? What would that be if you could do one thing?
I miss riding motorcycles, dirt bikes.
You're a dirt bike rider, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. Those are always dangerous. I prefer four wheels myself, but.
Yeah, I like four wheelers over dirt bikes, but I enjoy dirt bikes. I did, but four wheelers are a lot better than two wheels. But I flipped many four-wheelers on top of me. So.
Yeah, I guess they're all dangerous. Just depends on how you drive them. I've been on a couple motorcycles myself, and I understand, like, the feeling of freedom. Like, when they say, if you've never been on a motorcycle, you've never ridden one, you have no idea. And they're right. I mean, they're right. But at the same time, you're trading your safety for the freedom. I would, I don't know. Me, personally, I would rather still be able to go fast and have a windshield and, four walls around me.
Yeah. Now I do.
Right. Oh, especially now, right. All right. What about any pain? What's your pain like?
I have pain every day because the muscles, the fat is eating my muscles, so I have cramps and I'm losing muscles up in my arms, my legs, um, everywhere. So it's a constant pain, but you just deal with it. I just deal with the pain and whatever. You know,
Right.
it happens. You have to deal with it. So,
Yeah, it's yeah, I say it all the time. You wake up and you make a choice. You're either gonna lay there and bitch about it, or
yeah,
you're gonna get up and do something so you forget it's there.
yep, exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
Um, what helped you the most? So after you got in your wheelchair and you realized that's where you were gonna be at, what kind of helped you the most to kind of cope with that?
I changed my attitude. I was real negative about going in the wheelchair, and once I got into the wheelchair, I said this wasn't so bad. I don't know why I thought it, but um, I understand why I thought it. It's because I wanted to walk like regular people, but people people are not regular. Everyone has a problem.
Yep.
Uh, so I just had to tell myself this is what it is. You just have to deal with it. And ever since that, I've dealt with it, and I
Right.
think I've dealt with it good. But like I said, no one's normal. I had my bad days. I had my good days. I had my horrible days. But you just go on with life.
Right. Yeah, that's about all you can do, ain't it?
Yep.
And your attitude is everything. I mean, it really is. Yeah. Um, what about your hobbies before and after? Did they change? Did you find a new hobby, or you keep doing the same thing, or what was that like?
I like to spend a lot of time in my garage because I like tinkering with stuff, and now it's slower, but I still do what I do. That's my hobby. Just try to fix little things now, but that's my hobby. Just keep busy in the garage or the house or small little things.
Find
So
stuff that
that's my
needs done.
hobby.
You know what? You know what I've noticed too, because I'm on total SSDI. I mean, I don't really work anymore, if at all. I mean, I do minimal stuff, but um, when you're sitting around all day and there's nothing much to do, you figure out a lot of stuff that needs done, and most of the stuff that you need done, you can't really do it.
Yeah,
So you gotta
yeah,
wait for somebody else, and it kind of bugs you in your head, and you're just like, ah.
yeah,
But yeah, I know the feeling. You got to do what you can do, and then you feel like you've done
yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah. That's right. Even washing the dishes or doing dishes every night. That say, hey, you got something done. But
Right.
that I just like tinkering with tools and small little stuff now. So
Right. For sure. What about traveling? Do you like traveling since you've been in the chair? Do you find it harder?
actually, I started traveling last year. That was my research um, program. I was in Florida. I was scared to death because I was like, I had to buy a new wheelchair because I heard stories they're going to ruin your chair.
Oh yeah.
Um, then when I first got to the airport, I had the best people I've ever had. Customer service. They got me on the plane. No injuries to myself or my wheelchair. So I was able to bring my Promobile chair, and I was nervous about that, but same thing. I had the best care on the airplanes. I have no fear flying ever again.
What brand did you go on? What company?
I got the fold and go, but now I'm trying to sell that because I can't use it anymore because of my back. So I
No,
just
I'm
use
talking
my
about what
fold.
airline company did you go with?
Oh, Southwestern.
Oh, okay. There you go,
They have a
folks.
bigger. Yeah, I think Southwestern has a bigger seats. I've never been on United or American, but I see regulations that things are changing for wheelchair users.
Yeah, I've seen
So,
that too. They're making a lot of changes. They're trying to help us out. They're taking out rows. They're going to let us to where now we can hopefully bring our power chairs on the plane and just lock in,
yeah,
which would be
yeah,
ideal. You know what I mean? So yeah,
yeah,
hopefully that starts being incorporated throughout. Um,
yeah.
All right. Well, I got two more questions for you. Last one, it's really not on the list, but I throw it in there every once in a while. What do you do for exercise? How do you stay healthy?
Yeah. My exercise is getting out of bed. And just doing the regular things. Getting out of bed is a struggle sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And I watch what I eat. I always play with, push around my kid or making myself busy. That's my exercise.
Right.
I can't really, I don't trust myself standing, but just anything with your arms where you can, like, wash dishes, wash your dog, any kind of exercise. That's what I look at it.
Right.
I'm not a regular exercise, but getting out of bed, getting ready for work and getting ready for bed, that's the biggest exercise I get. And I know it sounds silly, but I think that kind of exercise helps me greatly.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, it's, just getting out of bed some days can be a whole battle in itself. And then once you get up, you don't feel like doing nothing because you're just worn out. And sometimes you won't drink enough, and so you'll be dehydrated, and then you'll feel like a tin man, and you can't move barely, or everything hurts. That's kind of me. That's my story. But all right, Wayne, before we get out of here, I got one last question for you. What would be the best piece of advice you could give to somebody who is newly, like, in a wheelchair, just figured out they're going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of their life? What advice would you give them?
Well, my advice is you have to have a positive attitude. And my advice is just cry your eyes out. Just get it all over with. This is what your life is.
Right.
This is what your life is now. It's not the end of the world. Be positive. Get things done like you want to do, what you can do, and just live life, because you only get one life. I know it's not the best life in the chair, but you make it the best life. That's
nice.
my opinion.
I like it. I like it. Now, before we get out of here, Annette Lyman Johnson's got one question for you. Okay. She says, does Wayne work? Like, does he have a career?
Yes, I do. I'm a assistant route manager for a bus company. We have 400 buses we deal with and 30,000 kids to transfer every day. So I'm in charge of 150 drivers.
Wow.
From the school years.
All from school. These are all school buses.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a pretty important job, Wayne.
I've been doing this for 24 years. So I'm looking to stay for another 5 years and I'm going to try to work for a wheelchair company. That's what my goal is.
Heck yeah. Anything's possible. You put your mind to it. That's right, folks. All right, Wayne. Well, dang. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for answering some questions. Everybody else, if you want to be on a Wheelchair Wednesday, find me on Facebook. Hit me up on YouTube. Send me a message. Always into it. In the description, there's an email. You can even send me one there. Wayne, stick with me. I want to say thanks again for coming. Stick with me. I'm going to tell everybody else that see us next time on the next Wheelchair Wednesday here at the Wheelhouse. Thanks for watching. See you next time.